and welcome to Composition 2. I'm Shelly, and I thought that I would send you all a video to introduce myself and give you a face and a voice with my name. Briefly, just a note, because they might enter into this video later, I have two dogs here at home with me. You can see one sitting by the heater right there. That's Nora, and this is Gracie, who's on my lap. They both snore very loudly, and so you may hear them on videos. I had a request from a former student to include them, so there they are. Anyway, welcome to Composition 2, English 102.3. I have some notes down here, so I'm going to be referencing those throughout this video. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible, but I want to give you kind of an overview of the class, what to expect, as well as some tips and pointers for this week. So, first things first, if you have not uploaded a profile picture, or some information on your bio, please do that. It helps me get to know you a little bit more, put a face with your name, and just get acquainted. So please do that as soon as you can. An overview of this class. So this class, you'll note, as all online classes are, is 7 weeks. And if you are new to the online format, here's kind of an overview of the pattern to expect. The first 6 weeks will follow assigned readings. We have practice quizzes and learning quizzes, and the learning quiz is essentially the quiz that counts, the grade that counts. You'll have a discussion each week where you will post an initial post yourself, and then you'll respond to 2 of your classmates. And then finally, you'll have an ALA each week, which is an applied learning activity where you will apply basically the concepts from the reading and discussion to an extended writing project, an essay of some sort. So that's kind of what to expect each week. The 7th week, we don't have that regular pattern. Instead, we have, you'll note, a summative project, which in this case is a portfolio. So you will revise your applied learning activities throughout the class that you've submitted, and write a reflection on your progress. So we'll talk more about that when that comes, but that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. In general, the arc of this class, it does build as we talk more about argument, but essentially we're starting small. So this first assignment, the rhetorical analysis, is kind of like a microcosm of what to expect throughout our assignments for the whole class. So we are doing research. We're doing a research project for the second part of the class. But for the rhetorical analysis, we are looking at one essay, learning how to understand an argument, how to analyze an argument, and then how to respond to that argument. So most of the course, you'll notice, is focused on understanding, analyzing, and evaluating an argument. And then in week 6, kind of at the very end, we get to responding to an argument. So I think because this is not really modeled well for us, we are in dire need of people who can understand argument, can analyze argument, and evaluate argument without jumping to responding. So this makes us more empathetic. It helps us to better engage with an argument of somebody else's, and helps us to really listen rather than listening in order to jump in or listening in order to respond. So we'll talk more about all of those things, but that kind of gives you an idea of the pattern of where we're going. So this week, you'll notice that we have 4 controversy readings, and I had one question about the Maya Angelou text. So you'll notice there's required readings, and you'll see the 1, 2, 3, and 4 controversy readings. Number 3 is Maya Angelou's text, and there's not a link right there. However, below, like directly below, it says required multimedia, and you'll see a link both to Angelou's speech video as well as the text itself. So I've made a note for the tech people to make that fix so that we have the link in both places, but for now at least you have it located under the required multimedia. So that's the first thing. The second thing with this week is I want to encourage you to read each controversy reading multiple times to better understand. So we're really trying to first suspend all engagement with the text other than trying to understand what the author is trying to say. Then we'll enter into analyzing, and then at the very end we'll enter into evaluating. So read each to better understand the argument that's presented. I have also uploaded a PowerPoint that hopefully will help you. It kind of gives an intro to me and to the way that I work in a class, but it also offers what I call context questions. And those are really to help us better understand anything that we read, any source, any essay, anything at all. So these context questions should be familiar to you. They're essentially the what we might recognize as journalism questions: the who, what, when, where, why, how. If we ask those and answer those for every source that we read, it helps us to really not only retain the information through that repetition, but it helps us understand. I know I've said that multiple times now, but that really is the goal. So I have posted those and given you ideas for how to answer those questions, and I've also uploaded a link to a sample essay so that you could practice if you wanted to, asking and answering those questions. So one way to think about this, one metaphor that helps me, is to think about every source that I encounter, every essay, every bit of research. If I think of it like a sandwich, if I'm just walking down the street and someone comes up to me and offers me a sandwich, I'm not just going to immediately eat that sandwich at all. I would have a lot of questions, and a lot of those would be: who made this sandwich? When did someone make this sandwich? For what reason? Why did they not want it? Why are they giving it to me? All of those kinds of questions that you might ask if someone offered you a sandwich on the street are the same kinds of questions that we need to ask for every piece of writing that's given to us. So those context questions will help begin that exploration to understand the context out of which each piece of writing emerges. Finally, we have some assigned readings this week from Everything's an Argument, our textbook. You'll notice that chapters 1 through 3 are assigned this week, and those cover just basic definition, kind of redefining maybe our understanding of what an argument is. It also talks about appeals to audience, so those would be ethos and pathos. So those are this week. However, next week's readings kind of extend this discussion. It includes logos, which is the third kind of audience appeal, and then also logical fallacies, which are errors in reasoning that we might see. So those will help inform your rhetorical analysis on whichever controversy reading you choose. So I would encourage you to read ahead. I know that's kind of a lot this first week, but if you are able, those will help you construct your rhetorical analysis this week. Finally, if you are able, Chapter 6 in Everything's an Argument does talk about rhetorical analysis and how to write a rhetorical analysis essay. So again, if you're able to read ahead a little bit or even skim, this might offer some helpful tips for you. If nothing else, I encourage you to review Everything's an Argument, pages 114 to 119, which is a guide to writing a rhetorical analysis essay. So at least review that. That will help you develop your rhetorical analysis well. 2 final points. You'll notice that this course is in APA format, which is different from English 100 and 101. On the PowerPoint, I've uploaded a link to Purdue OWL, which is an online resource to give you an overview of APA format. So please read through that carefully and know that you are expected to know the basics of APA format. Every assignment, every ALA for this class will be in APA format, so I do expect that you'll be familiar with that. On your rough draft rhetorical analysis this week, if it's not perfect, I will make notes on it, but please make it as perfect as possible so that my feedback to you can be most helpful. Last note, you will note on the PowerPoint I've uploaded my late work policy. I do accept late work, however, because this class builds and moves so quickly, I accept it only 1 week late. So if it's past 1 week late, I won't accept it. But if it's up to 1 week late, I will accept the late work. The reason for that is to keep you on track. Again, the class builds very quickly. Most assignments have some component of a rough draft, and so if the rough draft is not complete, the final draft can't be completed. So it's to help you. I think that's all. Those are my notes here. As always, I'll say this multiple times. If you have any questions at all, please send me an email or message me through the online platform, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Until then, best wishes this week, and I will see you soon. Bye.